Hello, I'm Debbie Bell-Hosking for FinextraTV, delivering you part of our Next Gen AI series. And I'm joined by Madush Gupta, lead member, Innovation and Technology, the City of London. And we're going to be talking about the impact of AI on financial and professional services, the workforce, but also the skills that are required to move forward. So Madush, a big welcome to here, our studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, this is a topic of discussion. You're hearing it everywhere, right? AI. Can I just establish, in our discussion, Madush, are we going to be talking about standard AI as well as Gen AI when we refer to AI? What's your view on that?
I think that whole piece is relevant, both the old sort of machine learning driven models and the Gen AI models that people are really talking about today.
Okay, lovely. And of course, we're focusing on the financial and professional services workforce and sector.
Absolutely.
So really interesting to be discussing this. And of course, in the introduction, I mentioned AI and workforce in the same phrase. Now, it's no surprise to you if I say that doing so does present those questions of fear of job security and employment rates. So from your point of view of the City of London, how do you think AI is going to impact these areas?
So the City of London issued a report in June of this year about the impact of AI on the workforce in financial and professional services. That report is as relevant today, 6 months on, as it was when we published it, and I think will continue to be relevant through this ever-changing world of AI. And the fundamental part of this report, the message is, the world of work is changing, but it's not taking your job, it's additive to what you do.
I often hear in seminars, if I was to follow that train of thought, that the AI ought to allow you to do other work, so it takes away the mundane and allows you to do other work. What's your thought on that? And also, upskilling is required. We spoke about in the introduction about the skills that are needed to go forward. Can you comment on those too, please?
No, absolutely. So in terms of that ability to focus on the value add, AI as a curated co-pilot absolutely gives every single colleague the opportunity to focus on the things where they can add the most value. We all know in our day-to-day working lives there is so much mundane activity that we do, and AI just makes that a little bit quicker, a little bit more pacey, and takes that off our plate. In terms of upskilling is critical for our workforce, and what we're seeing across financial services and professional services is an enormous focus on upskilling the existing workforce. And so whilst there are new job categories that have been created in the world of especially generative AI, but machine learning before it, what we're seeing is that we need to help every single colleague, no colleague left behind, in this AI revolution.
What's the approach then? How do you do that? How do you help people upskill?
So in my day job, I work for Lloyds Banking Group. From first-hand experience, what I've seen is it's about how you get your people, your colleagues, comfortable with using AI. Using new tools and technologies often elucidates a bit of fear in everybody. It's how you get every colleague comfortable with these new technologies. Just like you get them used to modelling in Excel or using Word or PowerPoint. So the journey I've seen firsthand in my organisation is about how we get everybody comfortable with AI through training modules, through lunch and learns, through data academies, modelling academies, ethical AI seminars, and how we deliver that to an enormous workforce. Lloyds has more than 60,000 people working in the United Kingdom, and we've delivered that training across the organisation consistently. It started with the Summer of AI and Data back in June this year, and that training has continued so that everybody can participate. And AI is on-prem. We can deploy AI co-pilots in Microsoft Edge, in some of our desktop applications, and it's incredible if you have access and the training, how much further you can bring your workforce on that journey at pace. There's a lot of work to do still, but it's about getting people comfortable.
Okay, getting people comfortable. And the key word you mentioned earlier as well, which we relate to AI discussions, is ethical. You spoke about ethical workshops. Can you please give an example of some specific measures that have been taken to ensure ethical use of AI in the sector?
So I think that comes down to, again, training and what you should and should not use AI for. Training for those who are building AI models as to what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. There are qualifications. Our late Lord Mayor, Michael Manelli, sponsored an ethical AI certification with CISI. And this is one of many certifications. But the point being that if we train our people to use the technology wisely, then it will deliver the right outcomes. There's always possibilities of technology being used for wrong purpose. But we have to train our people, and we have to rely on our people to do the right thing, fundamentally.
Okay, so you're talking there about the right outcomes. Do you have any examples of success stories regards AI implementation and adoption that has led to tangible benefits and use cases results?
So, a personal example, possibly. As a City of London councillor, I've built my own City of London AI model, and I've trained it on the papers of our committees, our public papers, a lot of our policy documents, the history of the City of London. And I've built this model that enables me to write questions, to analyse papers at pace. And it's incredible how much you can do at pace when you've trained an AI model. So my personal experience is you can do an enormous amount if you learn how to use the technology wisely. In financial services, what I've seen is that individuals are learning to curate their own experiences around AI. These aren't foundational AI models replacing people and entire teams within organisations. This is about individuals curating parts of their own working journeys using AI. And I see that in many, many places. Creativity, writing, questioning, taking minutes of meetings at pace, summarisation, helping you to look at the right questions to ask. So I see this value everywhere in everything I look at nowadays.
And you're talking about value there, we're talking positives. Now let's look at risks, because with AI does come risk. How do you associate or foresee risks in terms of AI in the financial and professional services? And then perhaps once you've identified some of those, do you have suggestions on how to mitigate them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, there's areas around data privacy. When we give the model information that is private, how does the model use that information? Does it potentially expose individual customers, colleagues or firms when the model is used? Can the model deliver consistent outcomes, repeatable outcomes time and time again? Again, it comes down to how the model has been trained very specifically to ensure the model produces those outcomes. And that all requires enormous amounts of training and upskilling of specialists, but also the users that are then using those pre-built models. So safety sits at the heart of using AI, but safety sits at the heart of everything we do in financial services more broadly. Consumer duty places a duty of care on financial service firms to deliver the right fair outcome for every single consumer. And so how we then implement that in part into the models we build, the outcomes we deliver for customers is absolutely critical. And we're still learning, and we're going to continue to learn how we use AI safely. And as we move from co-pilot AIs to more foundational AIs that really deliver end-to-end services and products, there's a journey there. And it's also a regulatory journey to evidence to the regulatory frameworks that we are delivering consistent, fair outcomes for customers.
And just finally, as we bring this interview to an end, and we're talking about safety and a journey, because we are all still learning, where does collaboration sit? Is that something you encourage when it comes to safety and AI?
So AI safety and ethics is very much a team sport. It is how we all come to the table to understand across all organisations collectively what good looks like. And by coming together collectively to agree what good looks like, we'll deliver the right outcomes for customers that are fair and appropriate. And there is a journey for all of us to discuss what that means, to agree what the standards are, then implement those standards. And there's very much, I think we're still at the start of that journey. There's a lot of great work being done. There's a lot more to be done still.
And finally, as we do come to an end, Madush, what would you say to people out there who are just feeling AI is a little bit scary right now?
So, as a former city trader, I often think about the VIX index, which is the volatility index, also known as the fear index. Now, a year ago, when AI was in its advent, I say the fear index, AI was going to take my job, it's going to replace us. That was around about a 70. Now, 50 plus is a fear, represents fear on the fear index. I'd say that when I talk to colleagues, when I talk to peers in the City of London, that's come down to a 40. So as we upskill our people, as they get used to the technology, that fear is dialing down and down. And it's becoming much more of a BAU technology.
All right, lovely. Well, Madush, thank you for your insights, particularly from your point of view from the City of London. So thank you.
Thank you for having me today.